Welcome back to another podcast. It's good to be back, Jacob. After missing last week. Yeah, it was a shame that I couldn't be here, but Brandon did a killer job filling in for me. That was actually a pretty cool podcast that you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Brandon had wanted to be on, and it was cool to have him on and just like hear his story and stuff. So that was one of my favorite. It was probably my favorite podcast.
The first guest. First guest.
First special guest.
That doesn't come for free. He had to pay $500.
There is
the feature.
No free clout on 2020.
No free clout. Anyways, getting to today's topic, something that's coming up and it's super exciting. Jacob's been putting in so much work, and as you can see, he's repping his own merch right now. And it's something that we started back at the beginning of this year, of 2019. 1Eighty is launching on October 20th. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. 1Eighty is a college ministry. So it's a gathering of college-age kids. You know, they don't have to. It's not specifically for college students, but college-age kids who gather around, and we learn from the Bible. You know, we teach what God's saying to us, and then we worship and have community, man. And that's what 1Eighty is all about, and that's what we've been working so hard on, pretty much for a year now, almost a year now, which is crazy to think about. And we're just finally getting to the launch on October 20th, so that's under 2 weeks away. So
yeah, for sure. Man. And so you went into it a little bit. Just like what exactly is 1Eighty? You said it's college-age students just getting together, and so it's going to be a weekly thing, right?
Mm-hmm. So our mission statement, or like what we're about, is a weekly gathering of college-age young adults with the mission and purpose of growing in Jesus. So it's a weekly gathering. It's on Sunday nights. So we meet every week consistently, and we worship. We teach the Bible, and we worship some more. You know, we get to know each other and have that community. Our three core values of 1Eighty is community, teaching, and worship. And by community, I mean to maintain and sustain meaningful connections with one another. So that's so important. We had a podcast on community, pretty much. That was a college one. So we know the importance of that for college students. So that's what we're trying to provide here. That's what 1Eighty's one of three 1Eighty's main values is there. Second is teaching. So we're going to open up the Bible. We're going to read what it says. We're going to try and understand what God is saying to us through it, and then we're going to apply it to our lives. And I want specifically for 1Eighty that application piece to be huge, because, you know, I've sat under so many people who taught the Bible like my whole life. I've been in Bible studies my whole life, and until people started to actually apply it, you know, I didn't appreciate it for what it was. You know, I just took it at face value. So application is going to be huge for the teaching portion. And then lastly, we're going to worship. We're going to open in worship. We're going to close in worship. Worship's going to be a cornerstone of 1Eighty. I believe it's one of the best ways for our age group to connect with God. Just in my personal experience, that's not for everyone. That's just a huge generalization.
Yeah.
But I found music is powerful for college students. So we're going to do that. And that's the hardest part, to try and get a band together to consistently play and practice every single week.
Wait, so we're going to have a live band every week, is that correct?
Every week, live music, yeah.
And is this open to auditions or no?
Not for you, if that's what you were insinuating.
No, I was definitely not insinuating that I was about to sing. If you've heard my voice, you know that it's beautiful, but it's not meant for the stage. Oh.
Dude, I wish I could sing. I've always envied the worship band. You know, it's a gift.
I know.
It's a gift I covet, but I need to stop, you know.
I know.
It's cool. It's cool.
One thing that my mom said to me is that when she was little, she always wished that she was a large black man that had really good vocals.
When you were a kid?
When my mom was a kid, that's what she wished.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that? Yeah.
That's very interesting.
It is.
You might have to bring that up.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So anyways, so we got to the worship. You went into application a little bit. What really is application? Like, what does that mean?
So we're going to learn, I think one of the most important part about reading the Bible is understanding what God is saying to you through it. Okay. So
not just what happened like in the Bible, but like how it's useful like right now. Like how does the Bible relate to us
That's the application piece, which I'm going to stress really, but God is saying something to us through his word, through his scripture, and we need to apply that to our life. You know, we can learn what God is saying to us. You know, we can learn God is saying to us through this verse, you know, do this, like follow this, you know, pursue this. But unless you actually apply that and you teach people how to like practically apply that, to daily life, it's not going to be of any value. So when I say application, I mean we're talking real life scenarios, like you're in class, sitting at your desk, and this is how this verse can be applied in that moment. Real life, like down to the minute application. And I think that that's going to be powerful for a lot of people. I think that most people who maybe attend church, maybe don't attend church, they don't get that. They don't get, especially when it comes to Bible, they don't get that, real application that, I believe it's God meant for it. So,
yeah. And something that's unique about 180 is it's not going to be taught from the perspective of somebody that's already been through it, but somebody that's already or that's in it right now. And so you're taking on a large part of the teaching. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I'll be doing probably 80% of the teaching, and that's a lot. It's a weighty responsibility, and I don't take it lightly, and I put in a lot of hours just prepping for the lessons, studying the passage we're going to go over, and it's tough. Not all of it's fun. I do enjoy finally getting the presentation together and expositing God's word. Like, I do enjoy that piece, but the nitty gritty, writing the outlines, transferring things over, making sure it's not my forte per se, but I do enjoy the end piece, and I enjoy the ability to help to serve God in that way. So that's what that's going to be my main role there. And when it comes to 180, I'd be the lead, and I would oversee things, and I would do the teaching piece. But when it comes to worship, like the event planning stuff, that's out of my hands. And I did that on purpose because this past 2 months, God's put on my heart kind of more like delegating things, teaching me that, I may have a authority in certain situations, but not what's the word I'm looking for?
Administrative ability?
No. I don't have I'm not good at everything, okay? So when it comes to worship, I don't,
surprisingly, Jacob is not good at everything.
I am not. I'm far from it. So when it comes to worship per se, I said it was a gift I envied. I don't have it at all. I don't know how many songs we should play. I don't know what songs we should play. I don't know what instruments we need, what goes together, a soundboard. I don't know anything, So that's when I need to, say to someone else, hey, I want you to be in charge of this, I want to make you a leader in this area. And that's what we're doing with 180, is where I'm to put other people in positions of leadership so that, it's not all me, and other people can grow up as leaders as well. And I think that's what is going to make the ministry thrive too. Absolutely.
Yeah. And me personally, I've witnessed firsthand somebody that teaches every week, and it is hours and hours, not just of studying and preparation, but practice. You have to practice the message that you're going to give.
Yeah. That's actually my favorite part. I mean, it's the easiest part,
Well, you also like staring at yourself in the mirror, so listening to yourself can't be that different.
Why would you say that?
Because I see you do it all the time. Anyways, moving on. So I also in this coming fall, in a few weeks, I'll be taking a role of teaching. Not sure how consistent that's going to be, but it is something that I'm going to see if I've been gifted to do.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that for you, to see you up there. I don't know. I know you've done a little bit here and there, but I do see potential in you for a teacher. So I'm excited and encouraged to see how that will go for you. And it may not be your thing, or it may be your thing, But
yeah.
Either way.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too, because I haven't had that many opportunities. But just this past week, you just approached me, and we were talking about it, and you said that I just want to give you an opportunity to do it. And you were challenging me almost just to push me to my limits. And I really appreciated that out of you, just encouraging me to do that and sort of step outside of my normal comfort zone. So thank you for that. Going on to something else, 180, October 20th.
8 to 9 p.m.
8 to 9 p.m.
14868 West Ridge Lane.
And we'll link that in the description or something too. But so the first night's not going to be the same as like the normal gatherings, correct?
It'll be similar. So the first night isn't an event. We're gonna have events like we have a fall party coming up on the 10th of November, and we have a Christmas party on the 8th of December. The first night's gonna be slightly different because it's gonna have like a 10-minute introduction. Like, where are you? Right. This is 180. This is how we came to be. This is why we're here, and this is why you're here. And then we're gonna worship. So it'll be a slightly different schedule, but it'll be similar. It's not gonna be crazy different. And yeah, we'll see what the Lord does with it on night one.
Yeah, for sure. And then one more question. I guess not one more question about what's going to happen, but just a question in general is, and this, I know this is just stuff that people are going to be wondering, like, is this something that only Christians can come to, or do you want non-Christians or people to invite people that have never even been to church to come to?
I want everyone. I want all college-age kids to come. I don't see much value. There is value, don't get me wrong, but as far as evangelistic outreach goes, having a weekly gathering of just Christians, like, sure, you're growing together, and there's time and a place for that. But 180 wants to be an outreach, for people who do have a relationship with Christ to grow in that relationship, but also at the same time for people to come into a relationship with Christ and then grow into that relationship. So outreach is going to be to non-Christians, Christians, everyone. It's definitely not going to be exclusive by any means. I would rather teach to non-Christians than Christians. Personally, because you could some of the stuff they haven't heard before, and that has weight to me, that has meaning to me, and it's a bigger responsibility, I feel like, to introduce the gospel to someone for the first time. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's
super exciting, and I would be super honored and privileged to have the opportunity to do that. I have with like one-on-one situations, but you never know who's in a crowd.
Yeah,
if you have a crowd, you never know who's in there, so you got to prepare to give the simple gospel every single time. So yeah,
dude, I'm excited. So we kind of went in to a bit about how 180 started, and I know you're gonna get into this on the opening night, but just talking about origins of 180, and like where that originated from, and this is something that I can actually contribute a little bit more to the conversation, because right now, like at the state that 180's at, I've kind of withdrawn from a larger role in 180, and Jacob's kind of taking the lead along with Angela Delaney, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So you two have been working together over the past, I don't even know how long, just to work towards this launch date. Mm-hmm. But and we kind of talked about this in previous podcasts, but the first time like we started talking about even starting something like this was Passion last year.
Yeah, so Passion's a giant Christian conference, 40,000 people nationwide attend, and on our way back from that conference, there was 5 of us, and the Lord put something on our heart that we needed to come back to Dubuque and have something like that. We saw so many college kids like loving Jesus, and we weren't used to that. That was a culture shock.
Yeah, I'd never seen that before.
Was that not a culture shock?
I wouldn't call it like a culture shock, but it was definitely a shock.
Yeah, and so we wanted to bring that back. So we sat down in this basement and with a whiteboard, and we started to think up and brainstorm what is now 180. And along the way, we had events. Remember, we had a dodgeball tournament one night. We had a night out at Barrington Lakes. Man, I forgot about that dodgeball tournament.
The dodgeball tournament, like we had no idea what we were capable of.
No idea. And like 70 people showed up.
So, and credit a lot of that to our boy Tyrell, who, like he still lives with us, but he hasn't made an appearance on the podcast yet. My man, like he plugged us really hard, and there was a lot of people, all from all different ranges of life.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, you could see somebody that's just a complete hick, and then you could see somebody that's...
the differences in people. That was the coolest. I remember talking about that. The coolest part of this dodgeball tournament is we had people from every single part of Dubuque imaginable,
Yeah.
And it was so cool to see them all in the same place at the same time doing the same stuff. And that was a really fun night. That was a surprise to us, the success of that. And then we went on to kind of we had a ton of meetings, way more meetings than we should have. I'm sure you could agree with that.
Oh yeah.
And
didn't even want to wake up for half of it.
and then we had a night out type thing, grill out thing at Barrington Lakes. I think we had close to the same number of people.
Yeah, it was like about
more.
50, 60.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of people. We had Tyrell gave his testimony. And that was really cool. That was really powerful for a lot of people. So I'm glad we had the opportunity to do that. And what we were doing with those events was just kind of seeing what was out there. Seeing it. Yeah, could we do this?
Yeah, like testing the waters.
Yeah,
almost.
Dipping our toe in, and then we saw that people would come to things. College kids were in Dubuque. They did want something more, and they were willing to come to things. And we got numbers. We have a contact bank, and we're trying to transfer all that over to a weekly thing, which is 1Eighty now, starting the 20th. So that's kind of how that has transpired over the last few months.
Yeah, and since
9 months, really.
So it started out with a faithful 5 of us.
Yeah.
And now it's down to one of the OGs and your boy Jacob. And like I said, I'm going to be teaching, but I'm not going to be taking on a huge leadership role. But it started off as myself, Jacob, Tyrell, and then Kate and Sierra. But Kate, she was here for a year or a semester, I think, and then decided that back home in Arkansas was the place that she was.
She went back to Arkansas, and then Sierra's still around. Sierra still helps out with 1Eighty a lot, and then we have you and Tyrell has taken kind of a step back from an immediate leadership position. So it's me and Angela pretty much right now, and Sierra, and it's going well though. Angela's super helpful with organizational stuff, administrative stuff. Like how many cookies we're gonna have, how many chairs we're gonna set out. That's not, dude. I don't.
She
know
just
that
thinks
stuff.
of that stuff. Yeah,
and I can't do that, so I couldn't do that without her either. So that's really helpful there. Like I said, I need to give things that I'm not good at to other people, and pursue things that I am good at. Strengthen my strengths.
Yeah, and I definitely think when you think of the church, of God's church, not the building or a building that you go to, but the people, God has specifically gifted different people with different things. And I think one of the realizations that you had come to is that you really did need to, yes, you had a lot of capacity, especially with you being single. You have a lot of capacity to spread yourself over many areas of this one ministry in 1Eighty. But there's just certain things that you're not gifted in that God has surrounded you with, at least surrounded with you with a couple people.
Yeah. A constant, comfort for me is that God's not going to, put something on my plate that he also doesn't at the same time equip me to handle. I may right now not be equipped to handle what's going to happen in a year, but that doesn't matter because it's happening in a year.
Right.
He's going to equip me along the way. So I can't do worship. He's equipping me with people who want to do worship. I can't do administrative, detailed stuff. So he's equipped me with someone who can do that stuff, who likes that, that's what their gifting is,
Yeah,
and
most
that's
definitely
super comforting. So I don't need to worry that I'm not gifted in a specific area that may come, because I'll trust that either God will equip me or, put someone in my circle who's equipped. So, that's comforting. That's a constant comfort. And that can be applied to any area of life, really. That God's not going to overwhelm you. God's not going to ever put something on your plate that he doesn't at the same time equip you to handle, I guess would be a good way to put it there.
Yeah. And just as we wrap down the podcast, just to recap some things, what are the major things that we can expect from 1Eighty this fall?
So 1Eighty, it's going to have 8 meetings this fall, and we're taking kind of 3 weeks in December off from finals and winter break. So we're going to have 3, including the launch date. We're going to have 3 regular meetings with teaching. We're starting the book of James, which is an awesome little book in the New Testament. It's just packed with wisdom and application, and I'm really excited to get into that. So we're going to dive right into that on the launch day, day 1. Continue that for 3 weeks. On the 10th, we have a fall festival, and then we got 3 more weeks of teaching. You're going to take one of those. I'm excited for that. And then we have a Christmas-like party on December 8th. It'll be a lot of fun. And then we're going to take December pretty much off and then start up again in the spring. So this fall, we're just completely relying on what God's going to do. We're completely just leaning on the Lord. It's going to be
full
fun,
send,
you know?
baby. Full
Definitely
send.
a full send is what it is. Anyway,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, so it's been nice to chat with you, Jacob. I'm excited. The date, October 20th.
October 20th, 8 to 9 p.m. at 14868 Westridge Lane. We'll probably put that in the bio.
Yeah, right off of Highway 20. You're not going to miss it. So hope to see you
awesome.
guys there. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.